Teaching Jieh Dao, one element at a time.
So in this first phase 1 lesson, we're going to cover the footwork and a neutral position, as well as some kicking elements. In our website, I did mention that you do need to be warmed up prior to each class. I'm not going to cover the warm-up because we only have 30 minutes, and I want to cover as much as possible in this, in each class session. So please do warm up. Make sure your body is completely warm, your muscles stretch, limbs are nice and loose. We may have a video of warm up that you can follow, but I do highly suggest that you do have your body warmed up, no matter where you are, what part of the world you are, and what time of the day you're training. Keep yourself warmed up prior to the class if you're going to basically follow. If you're just watching and learning, that's a different thing. But if you're actually going to get involved in a training with us, following with us, please keep your body warm and muscles all stretched, okay? So we're going to cover basically the neutral position, and that's part of our lead. The very first thing I want to cover is the neutral position. I use acronyms quite a bit in Jieh Dao. So if you hear me say NP or SMP or STMP, that's standing neutral position, or SIMP, sitting neutral position. So full lead, neutral position. So what is neutral position? Neutral position is when is me being fully ready in a fully guard mode for combat. So it's basically puts me in a position that I can actually be facing an opponent in a direct line. Now, I may be facing multi opponent. There may be one on right, one on left, one on front, one on back. I have to pick one side. I cannot really just, because we're two-dimensional. We have height, width, depth, three-dimensional being actually. So I don't have eyes behind my head. I don't have eyes on the side, though we have a peripheral vision. So I have to pick the front or the rear, even though I'm gonna be actually aware of my back, aware of my side opponent. But for the time being, unless I specify, we're assuming that we're facing one opponent in front of us. Now, as the opponent moves, obviously we're going to move with the opponent. So neutral position is basically you're in a full covered lead. Now I'm going to go into a different angle for you to see my side, my front. The hands are on the top. The elbow basically drop down. We're not covering our face. We're not basically blocking our vision. I'm in a full lead. My rear heel is up. My front heel is barely up. I'm not going standing with my toes up, nor am I going to be completely flat-footed on the ground, on the floor. So I'm basically in a ready mode, chin down tiny bit, bending the knee a little bit, not too much. I'm not standing on a horse stance or L stance of Taekwondo or any of the other traditional martial arts. I'm in a very nice and light and ready and mobile, agile mode. This is what I call neutral position. As we train along with the other lesson, you find out why I call it neutral. But just to say that the idea of the neutrality in this case is meaning I can be ready for any mode of fighting. I can be ready to go forward, back. I can be ready to go side. I can be ready to curve. I can be ready to pull away and regress and then turn around and face the back or the side. That's the idea of what it means to be neutral. It goes actually a lot beyond that. It's a trifold principle, but right now I'm just talking about the physical aspect of the neutral. Basically, I'm angling my body to the front, and if the opponent's moving, I'm not gonna this is not like movies, right? Standing this way, let the guy go around. I'm just gonna kick him on a side. I want to be able to have a vision, peripheral vision, where the opponent is. Okay, so four pillars of neutral position is basically the guards, leads, balance, and then of course his own philosophy. I talk about that in a book, Jieh Dao, the Fundamental. So neutral position. Now I'm in a right lead neutral position. This is called the right lead neutral position. I could be in the left lead neutral position. By the way, what neutral position is not a side lead. In other words, even though we train in all these, we train a square, we train side, we train down, we train twisted, we train half a lead. What's a half a lead? The upper waist square, waist below is in a lead mode, or waist below is in a square mode, and upper waist is half lead. So though we do have those other modes of fighting, but full neutral position is this. Basically, I am in a ready mode. I can be offense, defense, counter both sides of my body, right or left, or left and right. So I have to be able to move and switch between one lead to another, meaning one side, right lead to the left, very quickly, okay? Neutral position. So now we're talking about when I'm in a neutral position, dynamically speaking, I have to use my feet to go back and forth, unless I'm basically just statically positioned in a one mode here that I'm just gonna fight in that mode. Even though I may be doing that, I'm still moving. How am I moving? This is what we call pivoting. I'm not gonna cover that right now. We're gonna cover it when we're doing kicks. But needless to say that neutral position is not grounded 100%. You're never gonna be ever moving. Even if my feet are really flat, my upper waist is still gonna fight and move, okay? So neutral position doesn't mean when you're standing, that's it, you're stuck and you're not gonna move. Or when we say static training, doesn't mean that you're not gonna have any dynamic motion within your body structure. You will be fighting, you will be moving, no matter how and where the opponent is or where you are in relation to the opponent, you're gonna be moving, okay? So neutral position. Now, one of the footworks that we have is called slide. I've divided the slide into an air slide and a floor slide. Slide meaning when I'm basically, let's say forward slide, when I'm going forward, rear leg pushes forward on the floor. I'm pivoting, touching the floor, right leg follows, okay? Now you notice I don't slam on the floor with my front lead. I'm not doing that, okay? So I'm basically sliding, very nice landing, nice smooth landing with the front. This is what I call floor slide. Again here, floor slide, okay? Floor slide. I'm gonna turn left this way. I'm gonna floor slide this way to the left, okay? Just like that, floor slide. Facing the camera, you watch me, this is floor slide. So I call it really a rear engine move, okay? Advanced forward slide, retreat reverse slide, which on the floor is basically the same thing. I pull back with my rear, with the front leg, rear leg follows, okay? I pull back with my front leg, rear leg follow, okay? Just watch me facing you as I go back, just like this, just like this. Basically, I'm reverse sliding. Left, same thing, reverse sliding, reverse sliding. One more note on the neutral position. How do I get into a neutral position? We don't get off the bed and just walk around like this and then brush our teeth, even though it's a good idea to do as a practice until you get used to it. Dream about it, think about it until you master it. But how do I get into it practically? I get into it by, as I'm walking, I step, assume a lead. I have to have a lead. So neutral position, remember one of the pillars is lead. Lead, balance, okay, is the two of the position, of course, the guards and philosophy. One of them is a lead, meaning one of its characteristics is you have to have a lead. So as I go forward, I see something, right away I get into a lead. And then raise my hand up so I can be fully guarded with my, the elbow up, waist up. Hands protect the head, okay? I talk about the 4 vital parts of the body in the book. Hand protect the head, these protects the heart, okay? And the ribs. Protects the kidney, the ribs, kidneys back here, the ribs. This part of my body that protects my groin, okay? So I have the head the eyes, the head, the throat, the heart, and the groin, the 4 vital parts of our body. Because if we get hit by, God forbid, any of those areas, it's serious injury, okay, or death. So you want to really protect those. What neutral position is not is that you're so tight that you become too rigid and you can't really move. You put all your eggs in one basket. All you care about is your head. But what about your groin? What about your heart? What about your kidney? What about your ribs? Just any other parts of the body. You want to be neutral in protection, but give preference to those 4 vital parts that I talk about, okay? At the same time, you want to be mobile. You want to be flexible to go into any mode of fighting, okay? Such as footwork. You want to be able to have the mobility to be able to move around. So I have the mobility to move around here. Okay, I can get in there and then I can start sliding back and forth. I'm not fixed only in one spot of the opponent. My eyes are flexible. My mind is flexible, meaning I can think in different modes. My body is flexible. I can move around, okay? So practice that again. To review, rear slide, front follow, okay? Forward slide, that's a floor slide. If I'm gonna do air slide, you don't even see and feel it, okay? You don't see it on the floor. You don't, you only feel it over the air. You don't feel the floor. So it's much quieter, less friction, okay? Floor, this is air slide, okay? Air slide, okay? Air slide, okay? Floor slide, reverse, floor slide, air slide, sorry about here, air slide, air slide, air slide, air slide, floor slide, floor slide, floor slide, okay? Air or floor, rear leg pushes, right leg follows.